Welcome back to Augmented Voices. We're all about exploring how AI is changing the way humans and machines work together. And we love a good deep dive. And wow, have we got some fascinating stuff to unpack today?
Yeah, some pretty big developments lately.
Absolutely. We're talking AI creating a whole newspaper, getting almost perfect at cancer diagnosis, and AI agents becoming more and more independent. It's a lot, but we're here to break it all down and help you see what it really means. So let's get right into it.
The first one that really caught my eye was that Italian newspaper, Il Folio. They put out like a whole 4-page issue written entirely by AI.
It's a big deal, yeah. Journalists gave it prompts and stuff, but the writing itself, the way it was structured, how it all flowed together, that was all AI. What gets me is not just that they did it, but what it says about how AI is changing the whole way we get information. It's a real shift, right? I mean, we've seen AI tools help journalists before.
Yeah.
But this is different. It's AI taking on the heart of the job, creating the content. And when you think about it from a news organization's perspective, the possibilities are huge.
Totally. Think about how fast you could create those first drafts.
Right.
Or covering breaking news as it happens. Maybe even personalizing news feeds for everybody. All instant.
And the cost savings, I mean, publishers could put out way more content, maybe even spend less.
It's not just about speed or cost, though. Think about what happens when AI takes over the more routine reporting. Human journalists, they could finally focus on those really in-depth investigations, the kind that need that human touch and understanding.
That's a good point. But this experiment, it brings up some big questions, too. Remember those CNET articles?
Yeah, I remember that.
They used AI to write about finance and ended up with all those mistakes?
Yeah.
So how do we make sure the news is accurate when it's all coming from AI? AI doesn't know the difference between true and false, not the way we do.
And what happens when one AI starts referencing another AI's work? It's like, where does the information even come from? It's a real hall of mirrors situation.
Exactly. And how can we trust the news if we can't tell if a human or a machine wrote it? It makes you wonder if people will even believe the news anymore.
Well, transparency is key. If AI was involved, we need to know about it.
Absolutely. And careful ethical use is super important. This isn't about ditching AI in journalism.
Right.
It's about figuring out rules and making sure someone's watching over it. Il Folio doing this is kind of like the first step.
I think so, yeah.
It makes us face these issues.
Yeah.
It makes us think, okay, how can we use AI's power and do it responsibly?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the end of human journalists, but the start of something new.
That's what I think. A new chapter where AI and humans work side by side.
Exactly. Maybe AI does that initial reporting, crunches the data, and then the human journalists come in with their experience and analysis and, make sure everything's ethical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, okay, let's switch gears a bit. You sent me another article about medical diagnosis, and I have to say, this was incredible. This new AI model, ECG-MLP, it's getting over 99% accuracy at finding endometrial cancer.
Really remarkable.
From looking at those histopathological images, that's pretty amazing. What stands out to you about this one?
Well, that level of accuracy is just incredible. You know those histopathological images, right? They're these tiny slices of tissue looked at under a microscope.
Right.
Even experts have a hard time spotting cancer cells sometimes. It's complex and subtle.
Definitely.
But this AI model, it analyzes these incredibly detailed images really fast and super precisely. It even seems to be better than human experts at this point. It can pick out these tiny little patterns that our eyes just might miss.
Yeah, it's finding things we can't see. But how does this connect back to what we were talking about with generative AI?
Okay. So ECG-MLP, it doesn't write articles or create pictures the way generative AI does, but its success shows how much progress AI has made in learning, in analyzing and getting things right, even in really complex situations.
Okay.
And this builds trust. If AI can be almost perfect at something as serious as cancer diagnosis, it makes people feel more confident about using AI in other important areas.
Makes sense.
Even if it's something different, like using generative AI for education or giving out healthcare information.
So if we trust AI with our health, we might be more willing to trust it with other things, like creating content.
Exactly. And actually, the way these different AI models are designed often has a lot in common. Like ECG-MLP, the way it focuses on the important parts of those images, it might use attention mechanisms. And guess what? Those are also crucial in how many generative AI models work when they're making text or pictures.
Interesting.
So ECG-MLP's success is a big win for AI as a whole.
I see.
It shows that well-trained, focused AI can do amazing things. Whether it's looking at medical scans or writing a poem, AI can recognize and create really complex patterns.
Really?
It's not just about doing things faster, it's about doing them better. And every breakthrough like this helps the whole field of AI move forward.
It's all connected. Okay, so let's bring in that third topic you found. This METR study about AI agents becoming more and more autonomous. They're saying these agents are getting much better at doing complex tasks on their own and really quickly.
Yeah, this study is fascinating because of how fast things are moving. Every 7 months or so, AI agents are doubling their ability to do complex tasks without any help from humans.
Wow.
And it's not just getting slightly better, it's about how much longer and how much more complicated those tasks are getting. Right now, AI can probably handle what would take a person about an hour to do.
Uh-huh.
But if this keeps going at this rate, by 2030, they might be doing tasks that take weeks or months. For a human, I mean.
That's mind-blowing.
Uh-huh.
So how does this all connect back to those generative AI models we hear so much about, like ChatGPT and Gemini?
Oh, it's directly related. These large language models are getting so much better at following multi-step instructions and handling complex workflows. Think of it this way. You don't just give them one prompt anymore.
Okay.
You could give an AI agent powered by these models a whole project. Tell it your goals and boundaries, and it'll figure out how to break down the task. It will generate what's needed,
Really?
even talk to other systems, maybe even learn from feedback and adjust, all without us humans having to micromanage it.
We're already seeing glimpses of that, aren't we? Like Zoom using AI to book meetings or those AI assistants in messaging apps that can pull out action items and remind us about stuff.
Exactly. Early steps, but it's moving in that direction.
It feels like it's all going to change how we work with AI.
Absolutely. And if you think about those examples and imagine what's next, you can see AI agents taking on much bigger roles. What about a marketing agent that creates a whole campaign from start to finish, analyzes it, the whole works? Or a research agent that reads tons of studies, summarizes them all, and even suggests new directions for research?
It's a huge shift.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. We're not just telling AI what to do step by step anymore. It's more like we're setting goals for a coworker who happens to be digital.
That's a good way to put it. Instead of telling AI to write a blog post, we tell our AI marketing agent to boost brand awareness by, say, 20% this quarter. And it figures out how.
Exactly. We're moving away from single prompts and answers. It's more like having generative AI manage whole projects.
Which brings up a big question for you. How are you going to use these AI agents when they become even more powerful and independent? What will you hand over to your AI colleague? So pulling it all together, what we've talked about today from those articles you shared is incredible. AI is becoming a content creator, like with Ilfolio. It's getting incredibly accurate in diagnosing diseases with ECG-MLP, showing us what generating better really means. And those AI agents are becoming independent really fast, like that METR study showed.
And the key takeaway is that these aren't just random things happening separately. They're all part of one big trend. AI is changing rapidly in all sorts of ways, showing us more and more how much potential it has to help humans do things better.
From creating art to analyzing complex stuff to managing big projects, it really makes you think, right? As AI keeps getting more advanced, what new ways will we find to work with machines? And how will all this reshape the way we work and what we even think is possible? It's a future full of potential, and we're definitely going to keep watching closely.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too. It's going to be wild.